Hi, this is Jonathan. How you guys doing? In today's video, we're going to feature two products from NUX. The first one is this pedal. This is the Masamune booster and compressor pedal from NUX. Very interesting pedal. Next up is the B-5RC 2.4 GHz wireless system from NUX. I want to thank NUX for sending these products and a couple other pedals for review. They've been very kind, and they make wonderful products. I reviewed recently the Cerebus as well as the Optimal Air, and this one I'm pretty interested. I have a soft spot for compressors and drive and distortion pedals, and this one is right up my alley. It's an interesting pedal. This is the Masamune. Basically it's like two pedals in one. You have a compressor and a booster, and you have like different settings for the compressor and different settings for the booster. Is real simple. It's like you have your booster volume as opposed to your normal volume, so you can kick in the booster if you want a boost up for your lead solo. And there is even a drive a knob here, so that you can kind of like put in some drive into your amp. Like say for example, you have I'm running this through a Fender Deluxe simulation in my Line 6 native, and you can set up your gain on your Fender amp or any amp that you're using to kind of break up if there's any large input volume going into the amp preamp stage. So you can kind of like boost it up in such a way where if you kind of activate the booster pedal, it will kind of kick in the extra gain, and then you can have another knob here to kind of adjust to a little bit of a drive so that you can get a little bit of a tube sound. Yeah, this you gotta play around with it to understand what I'm talking about, and you can have a slightly overdriven sound for your solo lines. And the best part of it is that you have the compressor companion. Now the compressor, if you all recall, recently I did a review of the Cali 76, if I'm not mistaken, from Origin Effects, and I love that pedal to bits. This is somewhat similar. Somewhat. Okay, you have the sustain, which kind of like gives you like a sort of a nutshell view of your ratio and your threshold and everything all into one. So basically, if you boost out the sustain, it kind of like increases the threshold, and it squashes the signal to a signal that is sustained, that sustains, it really sustains. So if you back off the sustain level, it kind of like back off the threshold and the attack and the release and everything. Like what the Origin Effects did was that it broke down all these components so you can kind of like fine tune the effect that you want, how much compression you want, what sort of release you want, what attack. In this pedal, there's nothing of that sort. It's just straight like like how you use a Boss compressor pedal. A Boss compressor pedal is straightforward, right? This is the same thing, but you have to blend, right? So everybody's into blend nowadays, so you can actually kind of blend your original signal, your guitar signal, with the compressed signal, so you have a little bit more attack instead of everything being like being compressed. You can have a little bit more attack of your original sound to kind of blend in with your compressor, and that is really neat. And you have two dip switches here. One is for the compressor, where you can actually kick it in for the clip, so that everything is like really they put it the term is voluminous. In other words, it just fills up everything, so it's really sustaining, so that I find it's a bit too much, so I didn't activate that. So it cuts down the threshold. I think it's like putting in more signal into your compressor unit. So if I deactivate that clip switch, it kind of like goes back to normal. The gain is normal. But if you hit that clip, it's probably like an additional couple of dBs gain into the compressor unit, which henceforth increase the volume going into the compressor, henceforth increasing the sustain. So it's up to you. And then on the other dip switch is the high shelf. Basically, it cuts down the high frequency for the booster channel. So if you want, if you find that the boost, when you kick in the booster channel, it's a bit brittle, you can activate that, so kind of like round off, the whole response, which is really nice. And then at the back, it's really interesting. In the back, you can decide whether you want this to run this both effects in parallel, or one to the other, or the other to the other. So it's pretty interesting. You have a lot of combination here, and you have an input and output and an external foot switch, where you can put this somewhere in your pedal board or somewhere that is inconspicuous, and you have an external foot switch to kick this in if you need to, right? All in all, a very interesting pedal. I find that the compressor has too much I should call it too much effect in a way. I think if they back off just a little bit, it'll be just nice, so that it gives you the viable option to kick in the clip if you need to. Right now, is even without activating the clip, I find it's a bit too much, but it's still controllable. The blend knob is a good idea, and the pedal of this price point, I think this is like it's really something. And of course, the booster is like any other booster pedal, but with the added addition of the drive knob, which I think is really interesting. Yeah, so this is what I would probably get if I have a pedal board. I recall that I did some reviews on a couple of similar kind of pedals, like from Fender, the Compulgulus, and I believe one more from Seymour Duncan, if I'm not mistaken, where you have a drive and a compressor into one pedal, which is really interesting. Now, next up is the 2.4 gigahertz wireless system from NUX. This is like a plug and play thing, As you all might know, I exclusively use the Line 6 G10, which is really good. I find that these are really good. The only downside is that they need LOS, line of sight. So if your guitar is below or somewhere where you can't see this receiver and the transmitter, then you might have a problem with dropouts. I have dropouts on my G10 too, because when I'm playing, my G10 receiver is underneath my table, but it's not that bad because the coverage is pretty strong. In this unit, you might get a little bit of a dropout if your guitar is not in line of sight. So this is something that you might want to consider. But all in all, I find that this is really good. I don't see any signal loss, no tonal changes. You could put this in the amp, right, and have your guitar next to it, and I'm sure that you can, it would connect each other flawlessly. Something that's line of sight. Just remember line of sight. And the good thing about this case is that you can just plug both units in, right, like so. And then there is a USB port here where you can charge this whole unit, and it will light up. Pretty cool. Yeah, nifty unit. So you can just pack it up and bring it to a gig. I think this will be usable in a gig, because if you're using, say for example, an amp, and you have this, and you can connect this to maybe to your foot switch, or to your pedal or floorboard or whatever, it might work. I have problem even with my G10 when I'm doing my live shows, because the stage is big. So once I get a bit off from the receiving unit, I begin to get dropouts. I begin to have dropouts, which is not really needed in a live show. So I kind of stop using the G10 on stage for live work. In this studio, I have no problem whatsoever, because the coverage, like I said, is pretty awesome. Now, this unit is a pretty good alternative to my G10. So if you're looking for a wireless system for your house, an inexpensive one, you might want to try this out. Right? I'm going to put a price down for the Matsumi here. I'm going to put a price down for this wireless system right here. And I want to thank again NUX for sending these units for review. So let me know what you think about this two product. It's very seldom that I do two products in one video, but I thought I'd just give it a go, and I think it's pretty interesting. I had no problem recording with the wireless system with this effect at all. So let me know what you think, and put your comment in the comment section down below. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and press that bell if you are notified of future videos that comes up. And join this channel. Yeah, subscribe to this channel and be part of the Patreon to support this channel. I want to thank each and every one of them for the love and support. And thank you guys for dropping by the live stream last night or this morning. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. So again, take care. Keep yourself safe. Wear a mask, right? Social distancing. And have a Merry Christmas. Ciao.